General Hospital. It was a 30-bed unit, and nurses rotated to all areas of the hospital. Her friend Corrine remembers that after a night shift, they would go skiing for the day. Now that is stamina. There were apartments owned by the hospital for staff to stay in, and Donna loved to host dinner parties. After a couple of years in the Jasper area, she decided to move to Victoria to be near her brother Jerome, who eventually ran an antique store. She found a ground floor suite in Victoria on Vimy Road, owned by Marjorie Haggerty. They became great friends, Marjorie introducing her to Eastern philosophy, which Donna embraced. Marjorie helped Donna get established in Victoria, and Donna helped Marjorie when she got older and needed support. That was Donna. Donna worked 4 West at the old Vic General, where she met Fran and Joanne Pillar, as well as meeting her friends Maureen and Rob McDonald, who she would also travel with at various points in her life. But in the early 80s, she decided she wanted to make a career change and take a different path. Her travel interests fueled this, and she enrolled in the anthropology program at the University of Victoria, graduating in 1984 with a degree in anthropology. She had hopes of obtaining a master's in medical anthropology, but the only program was in the East, and she did not want to leave Victoria. Donna then started working on 7A at the Victoria General Hospital, where many of her friendships of the Victoria area were created. After 5 years there, she decided to get her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing so she could achieve some of her goals in nursing. Her goals included working with the elderly in the liaison role. She graduated in 1991. She also had to leave her job to complete this degree, as her head nurse at the time would not give her leave. She did come back to 7A at the General Hospital as the clinical educator. She then became a liaison nurse helping seniors. Every role that Donna took on in nursing was the flower and vegetable gardens were outstanding. Of course, her love of gardens and gardening were a major force in her life. She attended many gardening shows in North America and abroad, Monty Don's Garden in England being one of her favorite. Donna had many community interests within her neighborhood. She helped organize the Canada Day Strawberry Shortbread Tea in the Gorge, which was a huge undertaking. She was instrumental in helping get the traffic calming implemented in the neighborhood. She donated to many organizations that exemplified her values, such as the Inter Pares, an organization that worked to build peace and advance justice, as well as Doctors Without Borders. She was a canvasser for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and she helped to lead a team of canvassers. Donna was a great cook and baker, and even more loved well-prepared food. One of her favorite expressions was a little wry understated, not the best, when she experienced substandard baking or cooking. She loved making jam and preserves, standard baking, and these were her favorite gifts to friends. She loved making jam and preserves, and she was very much enjoyed yoga, which she practiced religiously. She loved making jam and preserves, and she was very much enjoyed yoga, which she attended an international. She loved making jam and preserves, and she was very much enjoyed yoga. So attended an international. She loved making jam and preserves, and she was very much enjoyed yoga. So attended Donna's national. She loved making jam and preserves, and she was very much enjoyed yoga. So attended Donna's national. She loved making very much enjoyed Donna's most. She loved making Donna's friend very much enjoyed Donna's most. She loved making Donna's friend very much enjoyed Donna's most. She loved making Donna's friend very much enjoyed neighbors able to fulfill Donna's most. She loved making Donna's friend very much enjoyed neighbors able to fulfill and becoming godmother to their first child, Luke. Donna also felt she was an honorary godmother to her other sons as well, Michael and Mark. She kept in touch and visited as much as possible. And we have Luke and Mark here with us today. Her friend Diane Lockton, a friend from elementary school, traveled with her to Peru and hiked in the Rockies. Diane continued to keep in touch with Donna and was especially supportive of Donna post-diagnosis, making sure she was able to get to Joanne's son's wedding in Kamloops. As always, there was, she as always there for Donna. Donna never forgot a friend and always had something for you when she came to visit. Of course, we'll all remember her love of cats. She had a few of them and created a safe environment for them in her home. Bella and Marvin, I am sure, are missing her greatly. In 2018, she started having issues with finding words, as they would just drop off in a sentence when speaking. She pursued an answer and was diagnosed with vascular dementia. This was a great blow to Donna and her independence. She did all the right things, organizing her legal affairs and asking her good friends Donna Ross and Fran Fettigwin to assist in her affairs and to follow her wishes when she was no longer to be able to act for herself. Fran and Donna were with her every step of the way, making sure she was safe at all times. She required daily supervision in 2021 by Grace and Eurus. Grace is here today. And in the daytime, and then progressed to needing full-time care with a live-in worker, which was performed lovingly by Ada. In 2023, it became apparent that Donna could no longer stay in her own home. This was an extremely difficult decision was made to move her into care. She was not there for too long, as she suffered a stroke in July and died peacefully with her friends holding vigil as she left this earth. There are many people who helped Donna over the years that kept Donna in her home and as happy as possible in her final years. Bill and Daphne for the yard work and lawn, John for the water and rodent issues, Dawn for many kindnesses, Anne for helping her with her singing practice and getting her to choir, Michelle for walks in Mount Douglas, Robin for helping her get linked to Zoom yoga, Adrienne for yard work, her move, keeping up the gardens for the sale of their property, coaching her through the PVR and TV, Grace and Ada for caregiving and companionship, Darlene for special friend support, neighbors for their kindness and friendship, Penny, Roberta, Maureen, Margaret, Anne, Helena and Helga for their 24-hour vigil. Most of all, thank you to Donna and Fran for always being there and following Donna's wishes. Rest in peace, my friend. Donna had many friends, and it's hard to mention everyone, so apologies if I missed anyone. There'll be time for friends to rise and speak and help fill anything I have missed in this eulogy. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. I would now like to introduce Fran Fettigwin and Donna Ross. A bit of a repetition, but these two ladies are the driving force behind looking after Donna's needs in her later years, keeping her in her home as long as possible, and looking after her needs once she moved into care. And if you're wondering if the names Donna Roth and Donna Ross ever cause confusion, Rest assured, it certainly did.
Hi, I'm Fran. I first met and worked with Donna in 1982 at Victoria General Hospital on 3C East and then later on 7A South. Donna was such a good nurse, a pleasure to work with. She was so compassionate. She was game for anything. She had a zest for life and boundless energy, always ready to help if needed. Back when my daughter Zoe was rowing at UBC, the team was in Victoria for a regatta on the Gorge. It was a chilly day in March, and 10 cold rowers were welcomed into Donna's cozy living room to wait out the 2 hours, not 2 days, before their next race. No problem was often her response when a favor was asked, or when I'd give her a call like this one. Donna, what are you up to? Can I drop by for a cup of tea? My power's been off for 6 hours. Sure, come on over. You can decorate my Christmas tree with me. She was keen to accept a last-minute invitation to go hear a friend's band at the Machosen Golf Club, and the two of us hit the dance floor and cut a rug. Joanne Pillar, Donna, and I often worked together and also socialized. We would have tea or dinner and the occasional weekend away. The last trip we took together, along with Joanne's sister-in-law, Myrna, was to Salt Spring Island. Jo was in failing health, but really wanted to go and get her oldest daughter a wedding gift from one of the island's artists. We were a team in making this a reality, providing nursing interventions and working around a power failure at the bed and breakfast. We all enjoyed the trip, and those were the last memories we made together. Jo died the following week. In 2019, Darlene Trudeau invited Donna and I to go with her to Newfoundland to see where she was from. We enjoyed 2 weeks meeting her wonderful family and the friendly locals. We took him some amazing sights: puffins, nesting grounds, and a boat trip to see icebergs up close, to name a few. Darlene's family held a kitchen party, and we were officially screeched in, and Donna was definitely hesitant to kiss that cod. There are many things I'll remember about Donna. She loved the color purple, a good cup of coffee at 4 o'clock, the sky when it turned pink blue. Ginger chews, hibiscus iced tea, and KCTS, especially all creatures great and small. But most of all, what a very special friend she was.
Hello to many of you that I know and many that I don't, but it's good to see you all here honoring Donna. I met Donna in 1985 when I moved to 70 South at the General. It was my first shift, and Donna and Joanne Pillar was very kind and helped me through the busy day. They knew how difficult a first day was, and I was most grateful. As it turned out, we worked often the same shifts and got to know each other well. After a few months, understanding her love of opera, I suggested she come to the opera with me, and that was the beginning of a 38-year friendship. She was an incredible nurse. She always practiced team nursing. Long before her patients were finished for the morning, she would make rounds of all the other nurses to make sure there wasn't anybody getting behind before she would continue on with her patients. And she rarely sat down, always tending to things while others were having their coffee. She was an ideal nurse, tons of energy, endless compassion, a well-honed sense of teamwork, vigilance for the welfare of her patients, and a wonderful sense of fun. Everybody loved her. When I think of our time together, I recall a memorable trip to Arizona, drove around north of Phoenix, exploring the various archaeological sites, Sedona and Jerome, and museums of anthropology and desert gardens. We had a wonderful time. We met for walks and dinners and opera in the Belfry. We were surprised by the Pacific Opera to be recognized on our 20th year of attendance. There was champagne for us in the foyer, and a man with a movie camera came around to interview us. but neither of us had much to say because we were so camera shy. But we enjoyed being in the lobby and part of the celebration, and of course the wine. She was so excited when she purchased her first home in Austin. We helped her move in and helped get her things in order. Her cat, Nikki, was her first priority, and she wanted a cat door cut into the wooden back door of the house so he could come and go. Her father, Frank, absolutely refused to cut into the wooden back because he felt the lovely wooden door should not be defaced for a cat. So she got my dad to cut it and installed a plastic cat door, and it's there to this day. That's one thing about Donna. If she didn't get satisfaction in one place, she would go to another. And then if not there, then another. And she never let up. Donna loved cats, which has already been mentioned, from Nikki, who was actually the Vimy Street neighbor's cat, who she adopted and took with her because she felt he was neglected. Then Minnie and Merlin, and then the stray Mirror. She liked M's, I guess. And finally, Bella and Marvin, plus numerous strays that she trapped and took to the SPCA for new homes. Mirror was a stray, but she fell in love with him and adopted him. Minnie and Merlin were outside cats, but she began to feel badly with dead birds. I think that was my influence on her. Gail's husband, Chris, built her 2 catios, which worked well. The cats could sit out there winter and summer and look around. But she also staked them outside in the garden, and somehow Marvin learned how to escape his harness, which led to him getting away. Then she would comb the neighborhood to find him, but he always came back when he was ready. They were her children, and in later years, she referred to them as the kids. For those of you who are wondering, the kids are with me right now, but I'm allergic, so we have found a good home in the near future, and they'll be living together, actually not far from here. The SPCA became one of her main charities. She extended her love of animals to all the dogs that walked by her home and on the way to the park. She kept bags of treats and would share them with Rocky next door and all the other dogs she encountered. After she moved to St. Charles, we would be working in the yard and people would stop and ask her after her, often mentioning the dog treats and her kindness. Speaking of kids, she has a niece, Akila, a nephew, Dorian, and good friend Mia to fill in that role of kids. She was very close to them and spent many hours with Akila, traveling with her sister Marlene and with Mia, working with Mia, helping with the animals and spending quality time over many years. Well, from the time that Mia was born. The big willow, that should make you all stand attention. The big willow was always a source of frustration. It constantly shed its leaves, and she felt compelled to rake them up continuously, every day, wanting a tidy lawn. Although I objected, as I felt it was a lovely tree, she applied to Saanich to have it cut down. She got permission after some effort and red tape. But then she delayed a year because it was going to be a costly affair to have it cut down. When she finally got a fellow to come and cut it down, he asked for the permit, and it had expired. And the rules had changed. Now the tree could not be cut down because it exceeded the size limit allowed. It was now considered a wildlife tree and was protected. She wrote a letter and presented her case at Saanich. She talked about how much work it was and many other things. They were not moved. She was so disappointed and frustrated. To the end of her time on Austin, she obsessively raked those leaves like a fury. In later days, those of us who helped her felt her pain. Donna unfailingly helped others. About 2 years ago, when we were talking about my neighbor, who is 96 years old, she is frail and she needs help, but she refuses any in-home help. I was telling Donna about this, and how badly I felt and tried to help my neighbor at times, Donna said, I would be there every day. And it hit me, of course she would. I realized then how much energy she had for life and helping others, because I know how much that would be to go over there every day, and I know she would do it. In preparing for this memorial, I had many people give me their thoughts of loss and grief and even desolation at the loss of Donna. People truly loved her. She had this ability to make people think that she was their best friend. She treated people specially, always greeting with a joy and smile. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran and Donna, for sharing with us the fun and precious moments and times that you spent with Donna. Our next speaker is Robin Cantor, certified Iyengar yoga instructor.
I might have to come up with a few more things to say because I've got a little cheat sheet here and a lot of it's already been said. So Donna did amazing yoga poses. She was so nimble, and it was with such ease that she could go into back bends and twists and inversions, and she was always the first one in and the last one out, and she could just hold it. In her home, it was well equipped. In that tiny little home she had a yoga space, and she had an inversion swing there, and we made that together, and that was lots of fun. And I saw her as nimble and joyous, a woman with many friends and interests, and all that's been listed already, so I'm not going to say it again. I don't know whether the neighborhood boulevard flower maintenance and watering got mentioned, but she was part of that too. She got things done with zest and commitment. Very high energy person who did a lot of good deeds. With great enthusiasm, she stopped to talk to all people and pets with great interests, like they were the most important people on earth. Each one felt so important. She loved sharing her garden, whether it was food or flowering plants. And Donna's memory, if I was to ask you if you had a part of Donna's garden in your yard, a lot of you would put your hand up because for many of us, she lives on in our gardens. She once brought me a little garden frog, and it sits outside my door, and it would greet the yogis with a namaste. And every few years, it's only this big, every few years, I lovingly paint it again. And I think of her and the day she brought it over. She loved food, and I loved having her over for lunch because she truly savored her food. How someone so little could eat so heartily was just, oh, it was nice. And she always brought something. She never came empty-handed. And she was always offering produce from her cornucopia of this small little garden that had so much flourishing in it. And in that little space. So I remember Donna telling me just around 5 years ago about her dementia concerns and getting her life in order. It was a marvel that I'm working on for myself, doing all these choices that she was able to arrange and make before her health declined. Every year, we went picking up blueberries for all our yoga friends, hundreds of pounds. Some of you received those deliveries. And we talked about her dementia, and she drove faster than I was comfortable with. And she was always looking at me when she was talking. And so I would just look ahead because I wanted her to look ahead and not look at me. And I have a bigger car, and I'm used to being in a bigger car than what she was in. And she had a car with a very short front. So everything felt so close, so dangerous, and so scary. But she was a good driver. Um, a really curious thing about Donna was her comfort zone. And for most people, our comfort zone is about 18 inches with people, unless it's somebody that you're intimate with. Donna's comfort zone felt like it was about right there all the time. And I guess she just felt really close to me. And uh, at first, I used to step back. And then sometimes, if I had a wall behind me, I couldn't go anywhere, and I got used to it. Yeah. So it was just an interesting observation, not a complaint. Donna would have been so pleased to know that her home and her property will be incorporated into the park, and it sure would be nice to see a dedication or acknowledgement plaque in her memory at the park when that time comes, if somebody knows how to do that. So I speak for all of us when I say everyone in the neighborhood knew and adored the friendly and generous, sprightly spirit of a woman. She was a blessing to so many of us. I think about her in my garden and my practice and about food. She's been with me a lot these last months. I think about her every day. And so, thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Donna really enjoyed learning from you and often showed me some of the moves that she could do. And she was always determined to perfect her asanas. Our next guest is Harry Lewis, past president of the Gorge Telecom Community Association, who spearheaded the Gorge Canada Day picnic a couple of decades ago.
Hello, everybody, and great to see you here to celebrate the life of our good friend Donna Roth. It was about 25 years ago that my friend Rob Wixon and I were doing some retooling of the Community Association, and upon that, we also had this rather good idea, I thought, of trying to close down Gorge Road for some community event, and began casting around the neighborhood for other willing bodies who would enter into this, because obviously Rob and I couldn't do it alone. And I see lots of faces out there who participated right from the early days, and as many of you know, the Gorge Canada Day picnic is still going strong 25 years later. And amongst the people who stepped forward in the late 90s was Donna. I didn't know her at that particular time, but I think she was involved with the strawberry tea right from the beginning. And so that was my association with Donna in the intervening years until both she and I gradually moved on to retirement from the picnic duties. There were a couple of anecdotes that sort of sit with me as I think back in my years working with Donna. And the first one was that for the first few years, and for those of you who are maybe not familiar, we actually closed Gorge Road from this end all the way to Tillicum each year on Canada Day. So it's an area filled with activities and all kinds of good fun. My duties were largely at this end, and Donna was part of the team that put on the strawberry tea at the Victoria Canoe and Kayak Club, which, as you probably know, is a good 1.5 kilometers away. And from the very first, it was evident that the strawberry tea was quite a success. But being located at this end, I never actually got down to enjoy it or to see it. And so the next year, I vowed that I would try and get down to enjoy the strawberry tea. By the time I got there, they were sold out. Next year, I went down, got myself away from this end. I thought I'll get down early. You know, it won't be finished until 3. No, the lineup was still going out to Gorge Road. There was just no way I was going to get in to get that. And, you know, being a bit of a grumpy man, I kind of moaned this, that here I thought I was in charge of things, piece of strawberry, she was my due kind of thing. Lo and behold, at the volunteer party that night, or maybe it was the next year, I can't remember, Donna had reserved a piece of strawberry shortcake with cream for me and perhaps some of the other leaders. It was so Donna, right? Thinking her kindness coming through, and so and that was my main connection with Donna over the years. We saw each other in the neighborhood at other times of the year, but primarily it was this period from, I guess we started having meetings in February and culminating around July the 1st, of course. My second remembrance of Donna is that our other big food event at the Canada Day picnic was the pancake breakfast, which started off, again, it's at this end of the gorge. And of course, as already mentioned, the strawberry tea was at the other end. And these, in fact, turned out to be quite significant economic drivers for it. We actually made fairly good money out of both the pancake breakfast and the strawberry tea. And looking at the people who were around the committee driving this thing, some of us were reasonably high energy people getting things done. And then I realized after the third or fourth year, we've got two of the quietest people running the pancake breakfast and the strawberry tea. Donna was, I knew she had good energy, but in group meetings and our committee meetings, she was quite quiet. And I would look at Ray Farmer, is Ray here today? And I'd look at Donna, and here were these sort of quiet, retiring people, and I'm thinking, how do they do it? Because they're generating all these thousands of dollars for us from these activities. And it was only began to dawn on me that I was only seeing a small part of Donna's energy level, as already talked about. Obviously, both she and Ray were these quiet, unassuming people who just got things done, the unsung heroes, if you will. And so it always gave me a smile at the end of the committee meetings at my house, where there'd be this confab between Donna and Ray, figuring out how many knives and forks and plates were going to get transferred from one end to the other. It was this sort of little secret economy that was going on in the background. And so that was the Donna that I knew, who invariably stepped forward every year and created, along with other members of the community, mostly women running the show, a wonderful strawberry tea. If I had to give a toast to Donna, which is really what this is, I'd toast her kindness, her compassion, her friendship, her sense of community, her strong leadership, strong, quiet leadership. And for that, I'm very grateful. And I think we all are, that we had Donna Roth in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. I'm really glad you got a chance to finally get a piece of that strawberry shortcake. And for those of you who haven't had a chance to taste the wonderful strawberry shortcake, there will be some when refreshment time comes, a little later on. Karen Labaree, strawberry tea organizer for the Gorge Canada Day picnic, is now going to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. It's just such a privilege to be here and learn more about Donna. I only sort of knew Donna through our community involvement, and it was quite a sort of a smaller slice of her life. So it's really, I'm really grateful to learn more about all the other facets that she, that made up her life. I met Donna almost some 20 odd years ago when we first moved into the neighborhood, and at that time she was convening the West Gorge Transportation Committee, and which was a group of neighbors that were gathering together to try to settle down some of the shortcutting and speeding through the neighborhood. So it really surprises me that she's such a fast driver. But anyways, we, that's okay. People are complex. So we would meet, often in her home, and she would, welcome us into her beautiful little home, and always had, tea and lots of, goodies for us as we tried to, battle Saanich engineering. And over the years, we did make some gains in the neighborhood. Those traffic circles are part of that. And then from there, she was looking for volunteers for the strawberry tea, and I was happy to step up and come and volunteer for her over the years. The one thing about Donna that struck me was she was a community builder. In health research, there's all sorts of people talking and researching, social cohesiveness and social connection. Well, that was just Donna. She just quietly did things, and she just, labored away and did all the things. A lot of the activities in our Gorge Tillicum community grew up around Donna. She just did it, right? There was no, she just quietly did it, assembled people around her, and we were always really glad to help. So a couple years ago, I ran into a member of the Gorge Tillicum board who had said, oh, I don't know what we're going to do. Nobody to run this strawberry tea, and Donna had passed it on to somebody else to Claudia, and Claudia didn't. Claudia had done it for a couple of years, and then thought, okay, I've done my bit, and I really felt like, okay, I can do this. I know that there's systems in place because Donna organized it for so many years. And sure enough, there were systems in place. So Jane and I, we've been going strong with the strawberry tea since then. We've got our little binder, and we've got all the same systems. We've stopped sharing forks with Ray, though. I think we've ended that. There was a bit of coffee going back and forth up and down the gorge, but maybe we're not doing things quite as well as Donna had done it, but she really left us in a good state with all her organization. And that is what I will remember her. I'll remember her as, just this dynamo that was just super organized. She had all these people around her, gathering the night before to slice strawberries and have a potluck dinner and have a couple glasses of wine while working away. And I think that's how you build community. You just get together, you do the work, and you have fun at the same time. And really that's Donna in a nutshell, at least the way I see Donna. So thank you for letting me say a couple words.
Thank you, Karen. Our next speaker for this afternoon is Pam Lodeman, who is the present Boulevard Brigade Coordinator and was past chair of the traffic committee for the Gorge Tillicum Community Association.
Thanks, Anne, and thanks for having me. Wow, there's way more people here than I first came in. It was great to hear actually people talking ahead of me because I know Donna in this tiny little slice as well. And some of the traits and things I learned about her, I'm now seeing where they're coming from and that they've been there for a long time. So bear with me as I probably repeat a lot of those things, but maybe in a different way that we knew her in the community. And there's so many really vibrant people and interesting people and very committed people in our community in this neighborhood. But Donna really stood out to me when I first met her, when I was sort of a newbie in the community, but also a newbie to the traffic committee that Karen actually dragged me into. And that's where I met Donna. We would meet in her really cozy and very welcoming home, and there would be cake. And there would be cookies or tea or whatever you wanted to have. And I found that so welcoming when I first moved to the community. thing about her, I watched her often during meetings, and I watched her listen really heartily to everyone. She was that person that leaned in, and she looked you in the eye, and she gave those lovely, reassuring yeses, or, yes, Pam, she was collaborative and insightful, and she stood so strong in what she thought our community needed for people to stay safe and active on our roads. Her integrity didn't waver. She had resilience in offering solution after solution, or alternative after alternative for what we were bringing forward to Saanich. And at times, quite honestly, it was quite tiring to me, but likely an excellent strategy that worked really well when dealing with Saanich, as we finally obtained some of those traffic calming measures after some, honestly, it was 10 to 12 years, and Donna was there from the start, and she pushed those things through until the end. And I think we all in the community owe her something, because she has resilience, is what I would say. I think when I became the chair of that committee, I got more calls and emails from Donna than I got from anybody else. I knew I liked Donna from the traffic committee, but when we moved on to form the Boulevard Brigade to care for flowers and plants that we encouraged Saanich to plant in the boulevards instead of grass, I really liked her even more. Her passion for beauty in the boulevards was, it seemed, as strong as it was in her garden. When we needed to decide on plants, the care of the plants, which plants should go where, we all said, oh, ask Donna. If we just needed to know, is that a weed or is that a plant? It was ask Donna. When she pulled weeds, there was not a root left in the ground. Her resilience here was also very fully noted. And resilience was the key, but quite honestly, in those gardens, while she was pulling weeds and planting and moving things from one place to another so that it would grow better, her physical ability to bend, lift, and maneuver herself around that garden long after the rest of us were sore, stretching our backs, standing on the sidelines, was quite extraordinary. And I think really it probably is a very good ad for yoga, or whatever else she had going on that allowed her to do that. And she was probably, when I was there, the one, probably the oldest one there. I don't know. So she had good genes, she pushed through, and she was, yeah, something. And I'm hearing that for everybody else, so it's good. Donna was our constant. She was reliable, and she turned up to help when others couldn't. She worked really diligently in the boulevard at Cowper and Austin, if any of you know that one. It was the most difficult to maintain and the most difficult to grow, because there was a slope on it and the aspect wasn't great and there was no water over there. She dragged hoses from across the road from a neighbor who was very kind, and I'm not sure how she got him to say, yes, I will donate all the water that you need for that garden to grow. It's quite incredible. The hose got worn out and she dragged it across. She got another hose. She got Saanich to buy her a hose. Really something else, just to make sure that that garden stays well. So every time I ride by the boulevards, or I go over a speed bump, or I go around the traffic circles, I really think fondly of this incredible woman who gave us all so much and really asked for nothing in return. Thank you. I hope you will all think of her as well when you are in those gardens and go by the boulevards and go over a speed bump or whatever it might be. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. I know what it was like to help Donna in those boulevards, and it's true, there wouldn't be a weed left. She didn't like rocks either. I know that Pam actually inherited some of these beautiful rocks they put around the drain system, but unfortunately weeds would come out and that was not going to work out, so we had to get rid of the rocks. And as for the hose that the neighbor, or that Donna connected to the neighbor's watering system, Cowper is a bus route, and so we would have to make sure that the buses would slow down as we were trying to water the gardens. So it's like, they were really good though, they knew who we were. Yeah, so now it's up to our next.
So we have received several emails, which I'll share with you now. Donna and I met, it would have been in 1957, and I think we originally crossed paths because we walked home from school, grade 1, the same direction. Mostly I remember outdoor skating in winter, snowball fights, and building snowmen. What else to do in Edmonton in the winter? In better weather, we rode bikes, skipped, jacks, hopscotched, marbles, softball, if there were enough of us. We also spent lots of time at the outdoor pool that was very close to Donna's house, crowded shoulder to shoulder with all the other baby boomer kids. I think our favorite indoor pastime was paper doll cutouts. Those are all things, but what I remember most is Donna herself. As a child, as an adult, she was one of the kindest and most compassionate people I've known. She also loved to laugh, to be around others, and generally to be a very good friend. And that was from Diane Lockton, Armstrong, BC. We very much miss our Energizer Bunny cousin Donna. We will never forget her smile, liveliness, and laughter during our phone calls and visits. This is from Jack, Virginia, Alyssa, and Vanessa Tracy Roth, Edmonton, Alberta. We are deeply saddened that we will not be able to attend the celebration of life for our beloved friend Donna. Donna was a kind, loving, gentle, caring, and generous person to all who had the privilege of knowing her. She was a cherished friend that we were blessed to have in our lives. I, Maureen, met Donna while working on 4 West at the Royal Jubilee Hospital. She was a compassionate and dedicated nurse who always was a pleasure to work with. My hubby Rob and I traveled to Mexico on a couple of occasions with Donna and had lots of fun. Over the years, we met many of Donna's very welcoming family and were included in several special family get-togethers. After leaving Victoria in 1981, we usually stayed with Donna when revisiting family and friends in Victoria. We always enjoyed her wonderful hospitalities, friends and family get-togethers, and many blues bashes over the years. We were always welcomed with hugs, a warm hello, and a beautiful smile. We will treasure our memories, dearest Donna, and may you rest in peace. Love from Mo and Rob, Kamloops, BC. So now it's time for the open mic. If there's anyone here that would like to come forward and say a few words, we'd love to hear from you. Not everybody at once.
Somebody has to be first. We've lived on Kerr, just across the street from Donna, for 16 years. She was a joy. She looked after our cat. She just, if we went away, you knew your house was safer than when you lived there. she was a dream. I had a key to her house forever, and I used to look after her cats when she went away, just, feeding them and things and trying to help out a little bit. She wanted to know about my kids when they arrived, and the grandkids, and who was who, and when were they coming from, and how long were they going to be there, and, just the kind of neighbor that, people dream of. And we miss her, and I know the neighborhood misses her. And just wanted to say what a treat she was. And whether you want to say anything or not, I know what's in your heart, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't care. Thank you to these guys for looking after her place and doing all the things that, are important. We love her to bits. Thank you.
Whenever I went to Donna's house, I always used to see how she baked, and it smelled so nice. And she gave me a little book with recipes she wrote, and now, ever since that, I've been baking a lot, and I really like it, and I really appreciate that she taught me how to do it. Thank you.
My name is Debbie, and 33 years ago, I got told, "You have the best preceptor," that guided me at 23 years of age. For 12 weeks, 2 days, 2 nights, I was with Donna. And she really, to this day, I carry her ability to be with patients and love them unconditionally and teach me so patiently. It really is amazing. And to this day, like I say, she is in my heart. She's in my mind when I'm at the bedside. And then when I had my little boy, she came to the house and she just was overjoyed with my joy. And she really is a special person. I would not have missed this day. And it's a beautiful thing to see everybody here, to know that they've all shared a little piece of Donna's heart, because she gave so big. I don't know what else to say, but I've really enjoyed listening to the stories after she retired. I actually bumped into Donna, I guess it was a couple of years ago at the Broadmead, just outside of PetSmart. And I went, "Hey, Donna, Donna, Donna." And we all knew that she was a bit hard of hearing. So I really had to yell, "Donna." And she came over and we had a hello and everything. I said, "Donna, how are you doing?" And she shook her head and she went, and I didn't know what she meant. And she told me that she had been diagnosed with dementia. And I was just so sorry to hear that. But, it sounds like her support she got the support that she so deserved, because she gave so much. And we're all here today to share that. So anyways, I just wanted to say how Donna has been in my life for 33 years. Even though I hadn't seen her, she's been in my head and in my heart. So I think we'll carry on living vicariously through Donna in any way, shape, or form we can. And yeah.
Anyone else that would like to say a few words? Okay, I guess that answers that. You're up.
Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the wonderful Allegra singers who will sing two of Donna's favorite songs. Thank you, Allegra singers. That was just beautiful. I know Donna would just be so pleased. Friends and family, you have heard today that Donna's life was about community, kind deeds, a helping hand, being sincere and true in heart and mind. You have heard that Donna was an avid gardener. She was always working hard to create beautiful spaces in Walter Park, the boulevards, and in her yard. Her colorful flowers were admired by many, and the wonderful vegetables she cultivated and shared with friends and neighbors were amazing. You have heard that Donna loved animals and carried treats in her pockets for her canine friends when she went for walks in Cuthbert Homes Park. Donna was small but strong and could ward off or hold off the charge of the enthusiastic dogs. She enjoyed being part of all the excitement and was as happy to see them as they were her. I got to know Donna when she joined the Allegra Singers 10 or so years ago. We joined the board to make the tickets and programs for the concerts. She also kept the photo albums updated, and we practiced together at least once a week. Memorizing some of the songs was frustrating. The hardest part was trying to correct substitutions we had made that seemed forever stuck in our heads. The hardest part now will be practicing without my friend and not hearing her lovely voice next to me at concerts. Donna had boundless energy. Like the Energizer Bunny, she kept going and going, always busy, enjoying being with friends and family, hiking, singing, traveling, doing yoga, bird watching, volunteering, organizing, hosting, delivering, canvassing, helping, baking, gardening, and so much more. When I walked by her house, I remembered the many times I stopped to have a cup of tea, chat, stroll around her lovely garden, enjoy a delicious goodie she had just baked. I remember her showing me the neighborhood children's drawings she proudly displayed on her fridge. I remember playing with her beloved cats, Bella, the princess, and Marvin, the cuddly one. I remember helping her look for them when they had escaped, climbing over fences, checking under decks, calling them, and being ignored until they were ready to reveal themselves. Donna was kind, fun, caring, and simply wonderful. She will forever be in the hearts of the many who knew and loved her. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. So we have a slideshow, and if you'll bear with me for a moment, I'll see if I can actually make it work. Sorry about that. So thank you to everyone, those that spoke, those that attended today, great staff here at the Scottish Centre. I'm sure Donna would have been overjoyed to see the wonderful turnout today. And it was indeed the best. Thank you. I almost forgot the best part. There's refreshments in the back. Please help yourselves.